Let us continue with our 3D modeling. In the last lesson we made sure that all these planes are properly aligned, and before we get into the modeling, we have to first of all make sure that all of them are at the right scale. And to do so, I will use this dimension here, which is 10 feet, and I want to make sure that in my scene this line will also be 10 feet as in the drawing. So I can go to Google. I have a window right here already opened, and I can see that 10 feet is 304.8 centimeters. So I will create a box in my scene that's exactly 304.8 centimeters long. So I have this box, and I want to make sure it's the right dimension. Alright, the height doesn't matter, but now I know these two sides are 304.8, exactly 10 feet. So as we did before with the top floor, we will like to scale these planes, but first of all I have to properly align the box. So that looks good. Now I can select all the planes, group them, and as we did before, I will have to move the pivot point right here. So when we'll scale, it will scale from this point. So actually I'm just gonna right click here, and it's gonna move the pivot to exactly the ground floor position. And now alright, that looks okay. Now I have to go into the scaling tool before exiting the effect pivot command, and now I will start scaling. Just fine tune it a little bit. Okay, now I can ungroup the planes, and just before I go forward, I would like to check once again in another area of the drawing to make sure that this is the right scale. And I know that a door should be roughly 90 centimeters wide, and I changed the dimension of this box to 90 centimeters, and as you can see, the door here is very close to that dimension, so I must been doing something right. It's alright. So let's start with the modeling. You can click save right now just to make sure you don't lose your project if your computer freezes. So I can isolate this selection. I hit Alt Q on the keyboard, and before I start modeling, I want to move this plane 20 centimeters down. Sorry, like that. Now I can unhide the grid lines, and let's start modeling. I will start with the basic plane from right here, I guess. Alright. Right click, convert it to an editable poly. I will go into the edge mode, and I will shift drag and create the necessary edge loops for the geometry. So shift drag, shift drag, shift drag. We are doing this like this instead of creating just a long plane, because we'll use this base geometry to model the window holes and the other holes that are in the walls. So I will model this part of the house in a single editable poly, and this part, which is lower height, on another editable poly. Alright, like this. Here. I'm not sure yet if you will do render from the back of the house, as this project initially was intended to be only a front render, but nevertheless I will model this part, and maybe I will do a back render as well. Okay, now we must bridge these two edges together, and as you can see, if I go like this with my selection from left to right, it only selects these two edges. If I go like this, it selects all the three edges. I use this mode because in AutoCAD it's the same selection technique, and it saves me a lot of time in some cases. And if you want to enable this mode, you have to go to Preferences and check this box, Auto Window Crossing by Directions, and you can check right to left or left to right depending on your style. So I will select these, hit bridge, and now I want to make sure these vertices that came from the top are aligned with these vertices. So I'm going to go to vertex mode by hitting 1 on the keyboard, and I'm going to enable snapping. And if you right click on this button here, it brings the snap menu on. I have only vertex, select vertex snap selected. So with those selected, I want to align those. Perfect. Now we can see the reason why I moved the plane earlier 20 centimeters down, because if it were on exactly the same level as the plane that I'm working on, I would get this weird clipping in my viewport, and I don't want that to happen. Alright, now I can bring back the other planes, and I will use the front view and the front view, the ground floor, and the polygon I just created, the object I just created. I'm gonna select all the faces, Control A, and I'm gonna hit extrude. And if I go into the front view, let me see, I want to extrude to this height first. No, actually let's extrude until the door height to this height. Alright, click OK. You can see that right now I can see through my object, and the shortcut to enable see-through is Alt-X, so that's useful sometimes. Alright, go back into the polygon mode, and now I want to actually, let's bring back all the other planes so I can see better what's happening here. Alright, now I want to deselect this area where the door will be. Let me see. Yes, that area, and this area right here, and I want to extrude again I will go into the front view, and I will bring it up until here. Now I want to deselect this area and all the other areas where there are windows. So here is a window, here is a window, and I think that's all. And here is a window as well, sorry. I want to extrude again, hit OK. And I want to bring it up until the window top. Extrude again. Alright. And at this point we should bridge these polygons together. So we close the geometry and we get the window openings. So I will select this, hit bridge, select these two, hit bridge, and so on. Alright, bridge, and another bridge here. Alright, great. Now let's go into the front view again, and with this enabled selection mode, you see it's quite easy. If I go into the front view and I do a selection from left to right like this, it selects only the top polygons, so that's very useful. I can hit extrude very easy and select only the ones that I need. Okay. Let me see. I think we could bring it up until the top of the house, and we'll be adding some other edge loops in here for the windows, for the window opening right there. And this lower area here, I think it's a mistake in the drawing, because if I bring up the image with my house, I can see that these two areas are at the same level in the actual house photo, so that doesn't exist. So I will bring this up to here. Great. And now we can hit Alt X to bring back to see through the object, sorry. And first of all, let's make the holes for these two windows. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4 edges, vertical edges, and 2 horizontal edges. And I can go into the edge mode, select these two, hit connect, and insert 4 edges. Great. Now let's go into the front view and make sure they are positioned right. Okay. By the way, I'm holding Alt to deselect the edges that I don't want. Okay. Now let's insert 2 horizontal edges. So I just shift click on this edge and shift click on the other, and it selects the whole loop, as you can see. Actually I have to do a selection like this, because if I shift click, it only selects the outer edges and the inside edges are not selected, and I need to select those two. So I will make a selection like this, hit connect, 2 edges. Let's move them. Great. Now let's go into the polygon mode and select these two and these two and hit bridge. Great. Let's continue. Let's first add the opening for this window. So what is this line? Let me see. Okay, I can use this line. So I'll move this at about there, connect, and I'll move this there, and now let's just select them. Oh, sorry, I have to insert vertical lines as well. As you can see, I have a shortcut for connect because I use it quite a lot, and it saves me time to have a shortcut. Mine is Control T, but you can assign whatever shortcut you want. To do so, you just have to go into the Customize menu, go into Custom User Interface, and Keyboard, all commands, and just go to Connect. Has to be somewhere around here. See Connect Options, and you assign your keyboard whatever you want, and then click Assign and save. So you will save it, and then it will be there the next time you open Max. So I will do another connect, put this here, another connect, move this here, and now I want to bridge this. But you can see if I'm in a front view and I select these polygons, it also selects the ones from the back. So I will hold Alt and deselect them and hit bridge, and alright, as you can see in the photo of the real house, this area is slightly pushed in, so, and this area is a little bit pushed out, I think. So let's do that. I will go into the top view and make a selection from left to right like this, and it will select all the polygons in the front of the house, and by holding Alt I want to deselect this area and just hit Extrude. I have a shortcut assigned for Extrude as well, so when you hear me say that I extrude, actually you have to go here and click on the Extrude settings, but you can also assign your keyboard shortcut as I did for Connect. So Extrude, I have Control E for Extrude, by the way. Okay, and actually let's go back. I want to extrude like 6.5 centimeters maybe, and I also want to extrude the bottom part, which is this one. Extrude, and I want to extrude this 1.5 centimeters. Actually, let's make it 2.5. Great. Now I want to create the hole for this window. I will go into the edge mode, select these edges, connect them with two segments, go into the front view and match those. Alright, and let's make one more connect this way. Okay, and let's bridge it. Okay, that looks alright. Let me see. At this point it would be a good idea to have another look on the reference images, just to make sure that we have everything modeled right. So yeah, this looks okay. I'm not sure yet that we will do a render of the back. I already told you, but in case we'll do it, I will probably make another lesson with the modeling of the back of the house. Great. Let's continue. Let's model this other area that has a lower height. So I will select the ground plane, hit Alt Q to isolate it, and start with the plane also, just like this. Okay, connect it to an editable poly, go into the edge mode and shift drag like we did before. Alright, let's bring back the other planes. Let's select this geometry and the front, and the front plane. Okay, so with this selected, go into the polygon mode, select all the polygons and hit extrude. Go into the front view and let's see what we've got here. Okay, so actually we don't, with this area we don't need to extrude it, so let's hit Ctrl Z to get back and deselect that area. Great. Okay. Let's bring back the other planes and let's see this area we don't need to extrude. This area, oh sorry, seems like we deselected some edges here, so let's fix that. Let's hit Alt Q, go into the front view, select these vertices, enable the snap by hitting S on your keyboard and just bring them down. Now let's exit the isolate selection and let's just isolate the geometry and the back view, because as you can see we have to match this line with the top of this polygon. So let's select the polygon, go into the vertex mode and bring it until here. Great. And now let's see, we have to extrude these areas, I think. Let me just okay. So yeah, we have to extrude this part, which will be the pillar, and that part. All right. Actually, the pillar, I won't extrude the pillar because that will be created in the window geometry. So I can leave that off. Alright, let's extrude. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hit extrude again. And let's bridge these two areas, because these windows will not have the same height as this opening right here. So we have those. Let's bridge also this part, because here will be the garage door. Alright, and now we have to extrude it again. Go into the front view, select the top part, hit extrude, Go into the front view again and make sure it has the right height. Okay, and now we want to connect this polygon with this polygon, so let's just select this, hit extrude. Okay, go into the top view, enable snap by hitting S and move it on this axis until here, hit extrude again, move it to match the bottom part, and select these two and hit bridge. Okay, let's bring back our other plans, and I think there's an opening here that I forgot to model. Yes, select these two, the geometry that we just created and the front view plane. Go into the front, select the geometry and hit Alt X. Yes, and I have to first of all move these vertices a little bit down, so I'm going to select only these vertices and move them down. I can disable snap, I don't need it. Go into the edge mode, connect these edges and move the edge to match the window, and I think I need two edges, one here and one in the loop on the top. So connect, okay, actually this one I don't need, so I want to remove it. Just double click on it to select the whole loop and hit Control Backspace to remove the loop. If you just hit delete, you will see you will lose also the faces that are on that loop. So the correct way to remove it is by using Control Backspace. Great. And now I want to make sure that this line is this loop has all the vertices on the same Z position. So to do so, I will select the loop and click on this button here, and it will make a perfectly horizontal line out of it. So go into the front view again and make sure these are properly aligned. Okay, now we have to go into the top view, select the front faces, and let me see, yeah, I have to deselect these and extrude them 6.5 centimeters as we did before, because we also have, you see, this extrusion right here. This area is pushed in, so 6.5. okay, I can select this and hit bridge, and now I want to actually, let's delete this face right there, we don't need it. Let's bring back all our geometry, go into the front view, and as you can see, this concrete part is lower here than it is here, so let's model that as well. Sorry, go into the edge mode, connect these two like this, and let's select them and extrude them. Okay, let me see, how is it in the back? Yeah, we have it in the back, but actually in the back there are some planks that are over the concrete part, so we don't need to extrude that there. So hit extrude, and as you can see, if I extrude it just with the default settings, it will go into the wrong direction here. It's just a silly error. So the way to fix that is to just select another extrusion mode from this tab. So for this case, maybe I will go with extrusion by polygon, and let's extrude them 2.5 centimeters. Great. And if I hit Alt X again, now I want to connect this to this corner. So I will delete the faces first of all, and I will select these edges, shift drag them. Okay, go into the vertex mode and click on target weld, and I want to click on this vertex and then on the one I want to weld it to. Alright, and now I go into the top view, enable snapping, and after I align this vertex with this one like I just did, I go into the border mode, select this border and hit cap. So we have a nice corner right there. Yeah, let's see what we have done. So let me just assign another color. This looks pretty much okay. What I like to do at this point is go into the material editor and just create a new material, V-Ray material, make it almost white. We can delete these materials here, we don't need them right now, and if we delete them from this view they will still be in the scene. You just have to make sure that you don't delete the maps first and then the materials. You have to select them all and delete, okay, because we don't need them. Let's rename this material override, okay, and let's assign it to our geometry. And now I can put a black color in my geometry and I can see very clearly the lines that I have modeled, and this looks okay. Maybe we could also extrude this part. So this part here, let's select it. Okay. There's no problem if we select this part and extrude it as well, because we won't do any renders from the garage, so it doesn't matter. And at this point, I don't know, I'm using Max 2013 and it sometimes has a weird bug, because usually I hit F3 to go from the wireframe mode to the shaded mode, but sometimes it just stops working. And you can fix that just by going here where it says wireframe, click on that and select shaded, and now it works again. So with this selected, I will hit extrude again 2.5, and maybe let's extrude this area as well. Okay. So actually an easier way to select these polygons would be just to go into the front view and have a selection made from left to right, and we'll only select this area. So extrude 2.5. Okay, let's bring back our planes. See, I have a somehow I think I assigned the gray material to the planes as well, but yeah, let me see if I have them here. Yes, I still have them in the scene material folder. So Let me see if I bring them here. Okay, so the problem was that when I deleted the maps, to show you that you shouldn't delete the maps first and then the materials, when I deleted them and hit Ctrl Z, the show shaded material in viewport option wasn't active no more, so I have to bring them back in my scene from the scene's material, from this menu right here, and make sure they are showed in the viewport again. So I have the back view, the ground floor, first floor, and what I'm missing here: ground floor, first floor, back view, front view. Okay, instance. Select the map and click show shaded material in viewport. Great, we can hit Ctrl S right now to save our progress, and yeah, let me see again. Okay, all right, that looks okay. In the next lesson we will begin adding a little bit more detail and continue with the modelings. Thanks for watching. See you in the next lesson. Bye bye.